workouts. An explanation from ABC's Brad Milkey.
I couldn't stomach football.
When Kevin Henry ended his playing career with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he couldn't stand to watch a game on TV.
Because I felt like I had been just done wrong.
He and Najee Davis both say they suffered concussions and should have been compensated out of a league fund. But when a doctor measured their cognitive function, they were told the decline might not be as steep as they expected because they were told under a practice called racial norming, black players were assumed to start with a lower level of cognitive function than white players.
How can that be okay?
The NFL says the practice is common and part of an agreed-upon settlement and that it leaves diagnoses up to clinicians. But in messages obtained by ABC News, Henry's doctor claimed he was asked by the NFL why he wasn't using the, quote, black norms. Brad Milkey, ABC News.
32 million Americans have had at least one of the COVID vaccines, but public health experts say new variants are spreading quickly. ABC's Dr. Anthony Fauci.
When you have that much virus circulating, you're going to get a lot of mutations, no doubt about it. So we're really concerned that it's almost a race.
U.S. pharmacies get vaccines to distribute starting next week. The remains of Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick lying in honor of the Capitol Rotunda. Sicknick was killed in last month's riot at the Capitol. House Democrats and President Trump's legal team presenting arguments for and against his impeachment. Senate trial starts next week. Reflections on the career of Amazon's founder.
What Jeff Bezos really showed the world is how technology can transform a market. When applied in the right ways and at the right pace, technology can transform an industry, really any industry.
Industry analyst Ed Anderson. You're listening to ABC News.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated, price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-721-4880. That's 800-721-4880. 800-721-4880. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
President Biden saying his heart aches for the families of two FBI agents killed in the line of duty. Daniel Alfin and Laura Schwarzenberger were shot and killed in Florida, serving a search warrant. ABC's Victor Okendo.
According to authorities, federal agents were serving a search warrant in Sunrise, Florida. They knocked to announce their presence, and when there was no answer, reached the door, immediately coming under rifle fire. Authorities say the suspected gunman was being looked into as part of a child pornography investigation. 3 more agents were hurt. Sources tell ABC News the suspect killed himself. The Biden administration slamming a Russian court's decision to send opposition leader Alexei Navalny to prison for more than 2 years. ABC's foreign correspondent Ian Pannell.
He was sentenced for breaching probation on an embezzlement case dismissed as unlawful by the European Court of Human Rights. The reason he failed to meet probation officers in person as he was supposed to, because he was fighting for his life in a German hospital after being poisoned. But the court dismissed that.
About 1,000 of his supporters arrested during the protests. In Myanmar, healthcare workers are protesting the military coup by walking off the job. The ousted leader of the country, Aung San Suu Kyi, now officially charged with illegally importing handheld radios. Rough landing for SpaceX in Texas, a test flight of a rocket that could someday be used for missions to Mars, ending in a fireball when it hit the ground. This is ABC News.
Ready to create your own income with your own home-based business where there's no such thing as getting laid off? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Get the facts now. GoHereNext.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan Fall Special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395.
Today we're going to see temperatures in the upper 40s and lower 50s, but as we have strong winds moving in out of the northwest, it is going to feel like the upper 30s and lower 40s at times. It's going to be a bright one for us with plenty of sunshine, and tonight will fall into the mid-20s with clear conditions around. Tomorrow it's not going to be as windy, and we're going to see more clouds around with highs in the upper 40s and mid-50s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
We've warmed up 1 degree since we started this morning. We're now at 30, still in the freezer locker, but after a while it'll be warming up to about 49 and a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And the only rain I see in the next 5-day forecast is Thursday night and early Friday morning, and then it goes away and becomes mostly clear for Friday night. But the temperatures are going to be low at night and fairly pleasant in the daytime, and the wind's going to die down too. We got winds on Thursday, wind gusting to about 13 miles per hour. But again, right now it's a great getting up morning, and it's 30 degrees. And we welcome you to the second hour of the morning wake-up call right here from 100.9 FM, 590 AM. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Terrell Jr. Parton, age 86 of Forest City, passed away Saturday at hospice of the Carolina foothills. Mr. Parton's ashes will be buried with honors at the Western Carolina State Veterans Cemetery in Black Mountain, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service entrusted with those arrangements for Terrell Jr. Parton of Forest City. James Jimmy Weldon Whiteside, age 69 of Caroline, passed away Thursday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. A memorial graveside service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday, February the 20th at Calvary Baptist Church Cemetery. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for James Jimmy Weldon Whiteside. Glenn Jolly, age 79 of Bethany Church Road, died Monday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. Graveside services will be 2 p.m. Thursday at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. Members of the Spindale Fire Department will be pallbearers. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Glenn Jolly. Patricia Jan Montgomery, age 65 of Forest City, passed away January 24th at hospice of the Carolina foothills. Memorial services will be held today at 12 o'clock at Spencer Baptist Church. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Patricia Jan Montgomery. J.C. Allen, age 80 of Forest City, died Monday at his home. Graveside services will be held at 2 o'clock today in the Eternal Hills Memorial Park. The family will receive friends following the graveside service, and masks and social distancing are requested. The Pageant A. King Mortuary and Crematory serving the family of J.C. Allen. Mr. Clive Hamilton Haynes, age 67 of Forest City, died Sunday, January the 24th. A time of remembrance will be held from 2 until 4 today in the Pageant A. King Chapel, where family and friends may come and sign the guest registry and pay their respects. The Pageant A. King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Clive Haynes. Jeanette Carver Simpson, age 81 of Sandy Mush, died Thursday, January the 28th at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. The funeral service will be conducted at 1 o'clock today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Jeanette Carver Simpson. Amy Rebecca Gilbert Baheeler, age 45 of Rutherfordton, died January the 28th. The memorial service will be held outside today at the Baheeler home at 1 o'clock. The family asks that everyone please wear a mask and practice social distancing. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family. Amy Rebecca Gilbert Baheeler. Brenda Diane Swink Trentham, 74 of Forest City, died Thursday at Rutherford Regional Hospital. A graveside service will be held today at Adable Baptist Church Cemetery. Social distancing and masks are required. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Brenda Diane Swink Trentham. Clark Edwards, age 74, of Forest City, passed away Monday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. Funeral arrangements are pending and will be announced by Harrelson Funeral Home. Again for Clark Edwards. Linda Lee Sears, 76, of Ellenboro, passed away Thursday, February 2nd, at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. No services are planned at this time. She has been cremated and her ashes will be scattered at a later date. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of those arrangements for Linda Lee Sears. Camilla Elizabeth Jane Bridges died Monday, February the 1st at Adrian Health Cleveland Hospital in Shelby. Funeral services will be private due to the pandemic. And Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside is serving the family of Camilla Elizabeth Jane Bridges.
Now, it's easy for Democrat governors like Gretchen Whitmer, Andrew Cuomo, and Gavin Newsom to say thanks, giving up service to those who made incredible sacrifices during this pandemic. Meanwhile, their business, politics, never shut down. You notice that? Government workers never missed a paycheck and never lost a job to COVID. Only the little people had to worry about that. Last year, there was a victim of identity theft every 3 seconds. That means a cyber bad guy could be selling your personal info on the dark web without you even knowing it. That's just one form of identity theft. Now, you might miss certain threats to your identity by just relying on bank statements or monitoring your credit. The solution? LifeLock identity theft protection. LifeLock sees certain threats that you could miss on your own. Plus, if you become a victim of identity theft, a U.S.-based identity restoration specialist will help you fix your problems. Of course, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock can help protect your personal information. Save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com using the promo code RUSH. Just go to LifeLock.com or call 800-440-4833 and enter the promo code RUSH. Promo code RUSH for 25% off.
From the bedroom to the boardroom, thousands are getting their day started with the first news, weather, and sports on The Morning Show with Jim Bishop here on WCAB Rutherfordton.
Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. You can always find people who are helping. Thank you to all the first responders who put their lives in danger to help us when my brothers and sisters need them. We look out for the helpers because they look out for us. Thank you, first responders! Thank you, first responders!
Learn how you can help first responders by texting BRAVE to 24365.
Gilbert Talks Taxes is on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. Get the latest from the IRS in North Carolina. That's Gilbert Talks Taxes every Saturday from 8 to 9, only on WCAB.
100.9 FM and 590 AM.
The best of both worlds.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton.
McCurry Deck Motors has been providing an impressive selection of automobiles for over 50 years. At McCurry Deck, you can browse the great selection of GMC automobiles and drive away in one knowing you have gotten the best deal possible. The team at McCurry Deck Motors counts it a privilege to make you a happy and satisfied customer. Why not test drive one of the comfortable and stylish GMCs today? At GMC, we are professional grade. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of GMC, Chevy, and Buick. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City.
In 1837, Mexico didn't like Texas being an independent nation. And then when Texas became our 28th state, it was just too much. With diplomacy breaking down in 1846, President Polk declared war on Mexico. In battles, it wasn't unusual for Mexican forces to outnumber the U.S. forces as much as 4-1. But superior weapons and battle tactics gave the American forces victory. And in less than a year and a half, Mexico was defeated. Southern politicians started calling for the conquest of all of Mexico, making it a part of the United States. The northern states, not wanting additional slave states, not only opposed the conquest of Mexico, they introduced bills that said neither slavery nor involuntary servitude would exist in any territories acquired by the Mexican War. Finally, on February 2, 1848, a treaty was signed in the Mexico city of Guadalupe Hidalgo. The United States would pay Mexico $15 million. In addition, the U.S. would take care of any claims American individuals had against Mexico by paying these Americans $3.25 million. In turn, the United States got over 1 million square miles of territory. It included all or part of what is now California, New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, and Colorado. Counting the money given to Mexico and the Americans, it cost the United States about $15 a square mile. Not a bad deal. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Now it's 7:16 on this Wednesday morning. Let's go to the phones and find out what's been going on around our county in the past 24 hours or so. And we stop first at the Sheriff's Department, and Deputy McLaughlin is on the phone to give us that update. Good morning. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing great. Tell us what's been going on.
So in the last 24 hours, we've responded to 138 calls for service. 10 individuals were arrested, and the county jail currently houses 153 inmates. We'll start with their arrest reports. Autumn Gibson was charged with simple possession of Schedule 6 and possessed marijuana paraphernalia. Darrell Mays, charged with failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Jeffrey Marshall, charged with assault on a female, communicating threats, and misdemeanor larceny. Nathan Wright, charged with felony larceny and failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Desmond Hardy, charged with possession of controlled substance in a jail or prison. And Blake Dotson was charged with assault and battery. And then we'll go over to the incident reports. Patterson Auto Sales reported felony larceny. Henrietta First Baptist Church reported misdemeanor larceny. Thomas Liebel reported misdemeanor larceny and larceny of a chosen action. Brianna Lane reported communicating threats. And Marion Lee reported identity theft. And that's all I got for you, sir.
Deputy McLaughlin, let me ask you, who are you pulling for in the Super Bowl Sunday?
No, not a real big sports fan, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, you and I in the same category, I think. So have a great day and be safe out there.
All right, you too. Thanks, sir.
Bye-bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Now here is Amanda. She's with 911 Communications Center, and she has our report for us today. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, in the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 495 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 50 for the emergency medical services, 17 for rescue, 138 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 54 for Forest City, 5 for Lake Lure, 46 for Rutherfordton, and 59 for Spindale. Ellenboro Fire Department had a motor vehicle crash, and Rutherfordton had a motor vehicle crash, and SPO had a structure fire assisted by Spindale, Rutherfordton, and Sandy Mush, and that is all.
Thanks so much. You enjoy your day.
You too.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Here's the SDO report, the Shiloh, Danieltown, Oakland Community Report. Ruby Taylor is on the phone. Ruby, tell us how you've been over there.
Well,
Well, the fire department had one call, and that was to a structure fire, and they were assisted by Cliffside, Sandy Mush, and Royalton. On my birthday calendar, I got Reverend Jerry Roop having birthday, and Mr. and Mrs. Randy Bostick's having anniversary day, and hope they have all of them have a nice day. And the signs are in the secrets today and tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
You have a great day over there.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, the Forest City Police Department responded to a Walmart incident this week. The suspect is a black male in a yellow coat with gray pants, was the last seen in those clothes. He left the area driving a tan or light brown colored Buick with no hubcap, and they're requesting your help in helping to locate. It's a hit and run suspect. Hit and run, so if you have any information, please contact Joey Brendel at 245-5555 and report that incident. It'll hit and run there at Walmart this week, and they'd love to get some help from that if you know anything about it. Let's check in now with Gary Wilson. He's up in the Fairfield Mountains Fire District and the Bills Creek Fire District, and he got his eye on things for us. Gary, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Did you fly your kite yesterday?
Well, I tell you, it's been a day for it, I guess, would it?
I guess it was. I could have
probably
stood it. I don't know.
Probably needed a long tail to keep it so fast yesterday.
That was a cold day yesterday. Temperatures never got out of the 30s, I don't think. And then that wind blowing on top of it, it felt like about 20 degrees colder than that.
It did. It sure did.
But we got a quiet 24 hours as far as fire calls go. I'm not aware of anything in either area. And during that time, I was lucky we didn't have something where it's freezing out or something like that, or fire out. As far as I know, we got by without any of that so far. So we've been about 28 degrees out here this morning. A little chilly this morning too, but it's not windy this morning. That's one good thing. So maybe the wind is through here. I hope it'll warm up just a little bit before it turns cold again.
Well, the wind gusts are going to pick up again on Thursday. It looks like up to about 13 miles per hour. And then the wind will be gusting again Friday night. And weekend, some gust on Sunday. But other than that, Saturday looks good. No wind hardly at all.
Yeah, we can take a little cold weather as long as you have that wind going with it. Ain't much you can do about that wind.
Exactly right.
But we're good to go up here this morning, Jim. Everything's going along pretty peaceful.
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, you have a good day.
All right, bye. 22 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Clemson over UNC, 63-50. The game last night. 63 Clemson, 50 UNC.
It's great to get discounts on beautiful furniture, and thanks to the Recliner Center, you can get 10% off everything in the store. 10% off lift chairs, 10% off sofas, 10% off recliners, 10% off bedding. Angela has changed her hours to suit your schedule. The Recliner Center is now open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 4, and Saturdays, 9 to 2. And, of course, you can make an appointment by calling 828-395-3562. Come by soon and pick out the recliner, sofa, or lift chair that best suits you and get 10% off your purchase. Come by and see Angela Cooper at the Recliner Center today. The Recliner Center is on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Here's Bob Hodge now reporting from the Hudlow Fire District. Bob, good morning.
Well, good chilly hump day morning.
Yeah.
Well, that wind's a whipping around out there a little bit this morning. So.
Yeah, we had some breezy conditions here the past few days and today.
Yes, it has, but maybe it'll warm up a little bit after a while.
Sometimes I'm glad to have a little weight on my body since the wind's been blowing so much.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, well, I guess that's one good thing about it. So, but it is a little chilly up here this morning. And Jim, with the fire department, it's been quiet during the night. We hadn't had any fire calls. Want to say happy birthday to Foy Tony this morning. And other than that, things are going along good and quiet so far this morning.
Good. I like it like that.
Yeah, that's good. Well, don't have to do anything there. So.
Well, you go enjoy another cup of coffee and enjoy the rest of the day, Bob.
Well, you too there, and you take care.
See you. Thanks.
Bye.
That's Mr. Hodge reporting there from the Hudlow Fire District. A Rutherford man has been arrested and charged with multiple sex offenses against minors. Goes back as far as 1980s. Claude Keever, 85, has been charged with multiple sex offenses against minors that occurred in Polk and Rutherford counties from the 1980s to the present. In Polk County, Keever is charged with 2 counts of felony indecent liberties with a child and 1 count of first-degree statutory sex offense. His next court date in Polk County is scheduled for Monday, February the 22nd. In Rutherford County, Keever is charged with 7 counts of felony indecent liberties with a child. His next court appearance in Rutherford County is scheduled for Wednesday, March 24th. This matter is an ongoing investigation involving the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, the Polk County Sheriff's Office, and the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. Anyone with any information pertaining to this case, pertaining to Keever and the investigation, is asked to come forward to speak with investigators. All right, here is Sue Price, now reporting from the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
How's Wednesday shaping up for you so far?
Well, so far, so good.
Good.
Still kind of windy out there this morning. We've had a lot of wind lately. Well, let's see. I have no calls from the fire department. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on either one of my calendars for today. And in my announcements, there will be a blood drive February the 8th from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Golden Valley Community Club. So if you can help with that, it'd be good. And it's always a need for it. I enjoyed that song this morning, If the Lord Wasn't Walking by My Side.
Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it?
That's a good one. And I guess that's all I got this morning, Jim. It's just quiet and calm over here. We're looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Well, you enjoy your day, too, and I will see you back here tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good morning. The impact COVID-19 has had on our community has caused many changes. And some of these changes is our jobs. If your job situation is changing because of a layoff or restructuring, you may have to make several decisions. One of these decisions is what to do with your retirement plan. Let's make sure that your investment plan stays on track and doesn't derail your retirement ideas. Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale from Rutherford, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I would love to help you. Please give us a call at 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and member of the SIPC. Bye.
It's time to get the Shingle Hollow news and Green Hill Fire District news. And Tina White is on the phone to step right up to the plate and give us that news. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning from the cold Shingle Hollow.
Oh, boy.
It's 26 degrees. It's so chilly out there. I guess that's what it's supposed to be, right? The next 6 weeks?
Yeah, it's going to be cold according to Puxatawny Phil.
Well, not a whole lot going on up here this morning. Got a couple birthdays. Wayne Camp, he is on the Pleasant Grove birthday calendar, and Tanya Poors on my personal calendar. Hope they have great big birthdays and celebrate. Nothing else is going on up here as far as I know.
You're doing a good job of keeping it quiet and safe up there. I like that.
Oh, yeah, and I meant to say the fire department, both chiefs said no, it was quiet, so that's wonderful.
That's good. Good.
I was thinking about Shingle Hollow. I've heard a few stories about the history of Shingle Hollow and stuff like that, but I haven't heard. Robin Lattimore's book's got a little section, but if anybody out there has any good Shingle Hollow stories they want to share with me, I would love to hear from them. I think it would be interesting to hear those.
That would be very interesting.
I'll just go ahead and give them my phone number.
Okay.
That's okay. It's 748-6220. I love to hear history.
There may be some good stories there that need to be told.
Yeah. I might share one with you if somebody will call me and give me some good stories.
That'd be good. We some years ago, and I'll have him back whenever it's available. Have Robin in to talk about how all the names in the county got their names, like Booger Holler, and Sandy Mush, and Shingle Hollow, and things like that, how it got their names. I think that would be another interesting program.
I know I've heard that they made there was a place that made shingles in this area, and I think it's not too far from where I live, but I don't know what years that was, and who ran that, who owned it, and who operated it. But I think that it was a pretty big deal because they were the only place that made shingles here locally.
And when it came time for a break, they just hollered and say, "Hey, it's break time."
If I holler at the kids here in the holler, you can hear me all through the neighborhood. Nevaeh can be down especially during the summertime, she can be way down the driveway, and I can just holler, and she can hear me. It's like an echo. It just goes on and on.
That echo carries, doesn't it? All right, anything else going on, Tina?
Nothing that I know of. Y'all have a great day, and love to hear from anybody that wants to share anything today.
You have a great day. See you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 7:31 here on this Hump Day Wednesday morning. If you know a Shingle Holler story you want to share with Tina, and she can share that with us, it'd be great to have that information. All right, we're going up state Union Mills next to get that report from Brenda Kelly.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
All right, let's go upstate Union Mills now to get the Kelly report, and given by Brenda Kelly. Better than anybody I know of to give that Union Mill report is Brenda Kelly. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. How are you on this cold, wonderful Wednesday morning?
It's cold and wonderful.
That's right, it is. But we're glad we're up above ground and able to get about.
There you go. Well, it's official. Greta braved the cold, windy morning and saw her shot up at Chimney Rock yesterday. And Greta predicts that we'll have 6 more weeks of winter. She also picked the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Now, typically she's gone with Tom Brady's team in the past when he was in the Super Bowl, so we were a little surprised. But we'll have to see how that shakes out. According to naturalist Emily Walker, maybe she's sick of Tom Brady winning. Who knows? But we released our Whiteside Road rodent to test it, and our Whiteside Road rodent saw it shadow and ran back under the building. So it's going to be cold for a while.
That's a mouthful. Whiteside Road.
Whiteside Road rodent. Yeah.
That's hard to say. Well, when you and Tina from Shingle Holler was mentioning names, you left out Frog Level.
Frog Level's there. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
What it used to be called.
But I always knew it as Frog Level. Yeah.
A lot of interesting names in the cat. I don't know where Bostic got its name.
Yeah. I don't know how Union Mills got its name.
Unless there was a family named Bostic, I think maybe there where it came from. But
could have been. You just can't never tell. But there's a lot of history in this county.
A lot of history in this county. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I've got 26 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays, any anniversaries. I don't know of nothing going on. I just know it's cold. I know my little old grandson, I call him little, but he ain't little, but to me he's little. He just called me. He's so aggravated. He's been holed up in that motel room ever since Monday morning. It's still snowing there, he said.
Really? Where is he?
He's in, somewhere in Maryland. Williamsport, Maryland. I've always wanted to say Williamsburg, but it ain't. It's Williamsport, Maryland.
Yeah, well, he can just rest and relax while he's holed up in that hotel room.
And they're calling for another winter blast and everything coming in again. I believe he said tonight or tomorrow. Up there. I seen it on the news here last night. It's supposed to be coming in again. This storm's supposed to go the same track the one that's there now.
I wouldn't want to live up that way, would you?
No, no. That one we had Saturday was beautiful, and I like them like that, you know, come and go and not cause a lot of problems.
But down here in the wintertime, we say, I wish we'd get a little snow, and we keep anticipating and watching. I wish we'd get a little snow. Up there, they say, I wish we could get a little sunshine. I wish we could get a clear day.
I know when it comes in feet, that's a different story, ain't it?
That's right.
Yeah. But I don't know of anything going on, so I guess you better check on Luther Sweet thing and see if Ellenberg's still all right.
All right, Brenda, you stay warm up there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Catch you later.
Right, bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304. When it comes to calling a pest control company, people in the know call Hutchins Pest Control. With over 40 years' experience behind them, it's a known fact that Tim Hutchins and his team come ready to do a professional job for you. Licensed in both North and South Carolina and voted the best for 10 years. Hutchins Pest Control comes fully insured, honest, dependable, and on-time service. Call Hutchins Pest Control today at 287-5171 to get rid of your pest and rodent problems.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Well, Luther's frozen over this morning. He's not available. If you ride through town and you see somebody frozen over sitting on the park bench over there near a telephone pole, that'd be Luther. So go thaw him out. He's missing his responsibility of checking in with us this morning, but we have no Ellenborough reporter. But meanwhile, we're seeking birthdays and anniversaries. If you are one of those folks born on this date, 3rd of February, we need to hear from you, 287-3356, and we'll have a birthday party and anniversary party for you. Give you a big shout out. So call us now and let us know your birthday or anniversary. 287-3356. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is a variety store. Here's why I say that. They have all your pet supplies in stock. They have horse quality hay, refilled propane, $10.99 for a 20-pound tank, cedar shavings, 55-gallon barrels with lids, only $20, and cow lick tubs. Check over the Dura Heat propane heaters or the 5200 BTU Comfort Glow electric heaters for only $29.99. Check their feed prices before you buy, and Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply keeps plenty of cardinal tissue and paper towels. Like I said, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is a variety store. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherford.
Henson Building Materials is returning to our regular days and hours to better serve the fast-growing building needs of the Forest City area. Our hours will be 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. We'll still be taking safety measures, cleaning, wearing masks, and social distancing, all while our friendly and knowledgeable staff will be taking your orders on a variety of building, remodeling, and DIY projects. With the combined experience of over 50 years, Jamie Earls, Terry Dunaway, and Randy Harrell in our 10,000 square foot showroom will get you in and out, loaded and back to your project, all with the flexibility in ordering. And while you're at it, visit our Homeworks by Henson showroom with our 2 designers for all of your kitchen and bath cabinet and countertop design needs. Time to get out, get busy, and visit Henson Building Materials. Building starts here.
There's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today. While they're fresh, they're good, they're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Darius Watkins, 40 over in Spindale today. Darius, happy birthday. I want to wish you a great old big one. Hope there's many more happy returns. Now stand by. Coming up, I think we have a school board report this morning. I think they met last night. We should have that report today coming up here a little bit later this morning, a little after 8 o'clock. So stand by for that. We got news from here and there, in addition to the sheriff's report.
Do you ever get depressed thinking that nothing, or at least not much, ever good happens to you? That you don't have many things to be thankful for? Charles Craig tells about Henry, who was looking glum and depressed. A friend asked Henry, "What's the matter with you? You look like you've lost your last friend." Henry responded, "What's the matter? I'll tell you. Remember 2 weeks ago my Aunt Molly died and left me $50,000? His friend said, "Yes, I remember. What's so awful?" "What's so awful, you ask?" "Remember last week my Uncle David died and left me $100,000? His friend said he remembered that too and asked, "Well, what's so bad about that?" With a sad face, Henry responded, "What's bad about it? This week, I inherited nothing." We would prefer to live with an unceasing flow of God's perceived blessings, but that doesn't always happen. There are times that the blessings from God seem to come to us in waves, like water rushing over Niagara Falls, while at other times it seems as a mere trickle of blessing like that of a small stream during an arid summer. It's important to remember during the dry times that God has been extremely faithful and good to us in the past. He never changes. What makes the difference is our attitude to His blessings. Rather than complaining because we didn't get more, we need to be thankful for what we did receive. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
Who will be the 2021 WCAB 100.9 Be My Baby Weekend Grand Prize winner? Well, it could be you. Just send in a card and be in the drawing for fabulous prizes, including dinner for two, #91 Whiteside Road in Rutherford. Now, it's got to be in our hands no later than 8 a.m. Friday morning, February the 12th. So good luck and stay tuned to 100.9 FM, 590 AM to see who will be the WCAB Be My Baby Valentine lucky winner.
Be careful. 100.9 FM and 590 AM may be good for your health. Positive, family-friendly radio for the foothills.
Former NFL players are suing the league, claiming it uses different standards for black players and white players in determining concussion payouts. Here's ABC's Ryan Smith.
It's a controversial practice commonly known as race norming. In medicine, it's supposed to help doctors make better diagnoses by using race to make assumptions about a patient's background. But critics say it is not an accurate tool and has no place in the settlement program.
The NFL says the former players are entirely misguided. However, neuropsychologists who determine assessments to help determine compensation said the NFL insisted on using the protocols that assume black players start at a lower level of cognitive function than white players. Some health officials worried that this weekend's Super Bowl could become a super spreader event. Dr. Anthony Fauci hoping it doesn't happen.
I believe that they're trying to keep people separated enough in the stands wearing masks so that they don't have that proximity.
What he does recommend not holding Super Bowl parties with anyone outside your own household. What to do with House Republican and QAnon believer Marjorie Taylor Greene over her embrace of conspiracy theories like suggesting school shootings have been staged? We're talking about that in Washington this week.
Marjorie Taylor Greene met with the Republican leader in the House, Kevin McCarthy, a lengthy meeting last night. McCarthy must decide whether or not to strip Greene from her committee assignments. That is something that is under consideration. Already you've seen the Senate Republicans weigh in. Mitch McConnell saying that that her views are loony and a cancer on the Republican Party.
That's ABC News Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl. Former President Trump's lawyers submitting a pretrial brief to the Senate, arguing in his impeachment trial that it's unconstitutional to remove someone from office who's no longer in office. House impeachment managers say the former president was singularly responsible for the Capitol attack. You're listening to ABC News.
Have you heard? A secret hoard of 1888 Morgan silver dollars has been found. These gorgeous 1888 O Morgans are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. And less than 500 of these coins are available. Coin experts are calling the Great Southern Treasury Hoard an incredible opportunity. Just call GovMint at 1-800-719-9079 and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1888 Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic O mint mark of the New Orleans Mint. These 132-year-old coins were found in sealed bags that have been untouched since 1888. That makes these unopened bags of Morgan silver dollars extremely rare. To learn more, call 1-800-719-9079. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $10 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-719-9079 now to secure your 1888 O Morgan silver dollar coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-719-9079.
Very different responses from a couple of grocery store giants over new rules on pay.
This week, Kroger responded to a new ordinance in Long Beach, California that requires a $4 per hour hero pay boost to grocery store workers by announcing it is closing 2 stores, a Ralph's and a Food for Less. Trader Joe's is responding to a similar new rule in Seattle by announcing it is raising pay for all of its employees nationwide temporarily. Trader Joe's saying a $4 per hour raise will be in place through the pandemic or until employees can get vaccines on their own as grocery workers. Alex Stone, ABC News.
The Navy dropping sexual assault charges against a SEAL under a new plea deal.
Accused of raping a female sailor at a 4th of July party in Iraq in 2019, Special Warfare Operator First Class Adele Anayat pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of battery and assault for biting the sailor's face and grabbing her neck during what his lawyer described as rough, consensual sex. He'll serve up to 90 days in the brig. Anayat testified at the military court at Navy Base San Diego that he was guilty and that he didn't have a solid memory of what happened because of copious amounts of alcohol consumed. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson asking everyone across his country to get out tonight and clap for Sir Tom Moore. The World War II vet who raised millions for health care passed away after contracting COVID. This is ABC News.
Some big news. Since Election Day, almost 5 million people have downloaded the free Newsmax TV app on their smartphone. You can trust Newsmax TV. Watch it for free anytime. And go to Newsmax.com for breaking news. Newsmax is on all major cable systems. Call your operator if they don't carry it. Plus, watch Newsmax on Roku, YouTube, Apple TV, Xumo, TiVo Plus, Pluto, and smart TVs like Samsung and LG. Newsmax is real news for real people. Start watching today.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Today, we are going to see plenty of sunshine. It's going to be very bright out there, but it's also going to be a blustery one. We have strong winds moving in out of the northwest, and high temperatures will head into the upper 40s and lower 50s. But really, when you factor in the strong winds, it's going to feel like the upper 30s and lower 40s at times. By tonight, we'll fall into the mid-20s. Tomorrow, it will be milder with highs in the upper 40s and mid-50s. Strong winds will back off. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And we're currently 28 degrees, still in the freezer locker this morning, but we're warming up nicely after a bit to 49 with a 10-mile-per-hour northwest wind. Now, the extended forecast for the weekend is looking good. Saturday, partly cloudy, highs around 48, light wind. Then the Saturday night, 31 and partly cloudy. Sunday, partly cloudy with highs around 46 and wind gusting to 14 miles per hour. There were sunny skies on Monday and Tuesday as well. So once we get through this Thursday night, Friday morning, a bit of rain showers and some heavy winds, it should be pretty nice, although still cold and windy. Well, welcome back to the third hour of the Morning Wake Up Call. So tickled that you've decided to hang around with us, or if you're just joining us, we thank you for that. And those watching online at www.wcab59.com, I'm waving at you. Hi there, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the World Wide Web. We got a lot of news to cover this morning, so hang around with us right after this.
It's the Celebrate Great event at Carolina West Wireless. Come in today for great deals on all your favorite iPhones, like $350 off the new iPhone 12 or $300 off other select iPhones, including the iPhone 12 mini. Plus, get even more great savings with an unlimited data plan, including 4 lines for just $35 per line per month, all backed by our powerful nationwide high-speed network. So you can go stay connected wherever your travels take you. Come into Carolina West Wireless and celebrate great today. Carolina West Wireless. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions or conditions may apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
I'm at this cave to show how Multiply the Cash can multiply your winnings. Up to 100 times. Whoa, just imagine winning all of that cash. So you can have more of what you love. Sweet. Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery is everything you love multiplied. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.03 to 4.84. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Well, some stories from here and there this morning. Some of the stories you may know, others of you may not. A Boston man has been charged in the slaying of a missing teenager. We've been mentioning several days that Qasim Omari Quayson Kopening had been missing for days. Now a Boston man has been charged in his slaying. Aaron Blake Hudson, 34, is charged with the killing of 19-year-old Qasim Omari Quayson Kopening. Hudson is believed to have killed Kopening early last month. The slaying allegedly occurred on Hudson's Patches Lane property, according to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Francis said, "We have not found the body of Mr. Kopening, but we believe the murder occurred on January the 8th. Everything suggests it happened on Hudson's property." Authorities spent more than 12 hours combing Hudson's 170 Patches Lane property Monday. They were back there Tuesday for a further search of more evidence. Francis declined to discuss a motive in the slaying, adding the two men knew one another. Much of the evidence linking Hudson to the slaying results from an extensive investigation that included multiple interviews, many stemming from social media posts. Kopening, who was known to frequent the Town and Country Inn suites on Reservation Drive, Spindale, was reported missing to Spindale police on January the 19th. One day later, the sheriff's office became involved in the case. At the time, there was social media chatter, but that indicated Kopening may have been a victim of foul play. Those social media posts also caught the attention of law enforcement. "We did believe there was foul play early on," Sheriff Francis said. In addition to the charge for Kopening's slaying, Hudson was also charged with 2 counts of felony possession of firearms by felon, 2 counts of chop shop activity by theft, fraud, and other illegal activities, 3 counts of possession of stolen motor vehicle, 4 counts of possession with intent to manufacture, sell, deliver a controlled substance, and driving while license revoked, not impaired revisions. Hudson was reportedly a previous student of basic law enforcement training. Afterwards, he was involved in a police chase in 2017, fleeing police on a motorcycle. It was then Hudson began to spiral downward, Francis said. Corporating slaying marks the county's fourth slaying in 2021, all occurring during the month of January. Several law enforcement agencies were involved in that case, including local, state, and federal agencies. Meanwhile, the police in Forest City are asking for help in identifying a hit-and-run suspect. Monday night, Forest City responded to Walmart in reference to a hit-and-run. The suspect is described as a black male wearing a yellow coat and gray pants. He left the area driving a light brown-colored Buick with no hubcaps. If you know the identity of the subject or have any other useful information, please contact Officer Joey Brandel at 245-5555 or 286-2911. Well, Claude Keever, 85, has been charged with multiple sex offenses against minors that occurred from the 1980s in both Polk and Rutherford counties to present. In Polk County, Keever is charged with 2 counts of felony indecent liberties with a child and 1 count of first-degree statutory sex offense. His next court date in Polk County is scheduled for Monday, February 22nd. In Rutherford County, Keever is charged with 7 counts of felony indecent liberties with a child. His next court appearance in Rutherford County is scheduled for Wednesday, March 24th. This matter is an ongoing investigation involving the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, the Polk County Sheriff's Office, and the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. Anyone with information pertaining to Keever and this investigation is asked to come forward to speak with investigators. Well, it was a big day over at Isothermal yesterday in Rutherford County. Walter Dalton has been awarded the Order of the Longleaf Pine by North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper. Near the end of the Isothermal Community College Board of Trustees meeting Tuesday, Cooper made the presentation via video to Dalton. Dalton, a former lieutenant governor, retired Friday as the president of Isothermal Community College. He had served in that capacity since 2013. In the video, Cooper noted Dalton's remarkable career and longtime service to the state and community college system. The Order of the Longleaf Pine is North Carolina's highest civilian honor. The ICC trustee also honored Dalton by naming the college's newest building the Walter H. Dalton Engineering, Technology, and Workforce Development Center. Roger Jolly, ICC board member, said, "I can think of no better way to recognize him for his lifetime of service to the people of Rutherford and Polk counties and the state of North Carolina." Dalton was surprised by the honors. He became emotional with tears in his eyes as he thanked the trustees for supporting him during his 8 years as the president of Isothermal and for supporting the college. He then referred to a line from the official North Carolina state toast, "Where the weak grow strong and the strong grow great. This is what a community college is," President Dalton said as he spoke of how a community college can transform lives for the better. So congratulations to Walter Dalton, now retired president of Isothermal Community College. Also on Tuesday, Governor Roy Cooper encouraged school districts across North Carolina to reopen and offer in-person learning for parents who are ready to send their children back to school. Governor Cooper, along with State Superintendent Catherine Truitt, North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mandy Cohen, and other officials cited recent studies and data, including one study done by the CDC that shows the spread of COVID-19 is relatively lower in schools. You think? During a Council of State meeting on Tuesday morning, WTVD reports State Superintendent Truitt announced she and Governor Roy Cooper, along with other state officials, would be endorsing the reopening of schools across the state. Well, a lot of folks will say it's about time, right? About time. The kids need to get back in the classroom, need to socialize, need to run up and down the basketball court, out on the ball field, do a lot of things. Some economic news for the county. Rutherford County Commissioners agreed to sell a parcel of land at Gateway West Commerce Park. That's the one located on College Avenue and Daniel Road near McCurry Deck, that road that runs by McCurry Deck. They have sold that to Premier Federal Credit Union. The company will pay $390,000 for the 1.5-acre tract. According to a resolution by the county commissioners, the move will create jobs, stimulate and stabilize the local economy, and could serve as a catalyst for additional commercial activity at the park. resulting in the creation of a substantial number of new permanent jobs in the county. Officials said the expected average hourly wage at the facility would be $14 and that the company plans to invest more than $1 billion to establish a branch there and will begin with 5 employees. Before the commissioners approved the sale after a regular meeting Monday evening, a brief public hearing was held. Some work by the North Carolina Department of Transportation is expected to realign the drive into property with an existing traffic light. Local officials have worked on the Gateway property for some time. County Commissioner Chairman Brian King describes the Gateway West as viable property because where it's located. We appreciate the work of Birgit and her team at the Economic Development Office, the Chamber of Commerce, Clark Poole, and others who have worked to make this happen. A number of people have worked on this project. It has been a team effort, and the Gateway property is made up of 6 sites ranging in size from 1.3 acres to 3.9 acres, and according to Dilgert, there is potential for 5 additional businesses to join Premier Federal Credit Union at that location. So that's good news. I'm glad to see that property finally coming into existence and something productive being done with. It's been sitting there just inviting somebody to use that property. Good location. Well, a doctor with offices in Morganton, Marion, and Lenoir was charged in McDowell County with 3 counts of sexual battery. Local doctor charged with sexual battery. Dion Eldon A. Husan, 65, of Morganton, was served Monday afternoon with warrants for 3 misdemeanor counts of sexual battery, according to arrest warrants filed at the Burke County Clerk of Court's office. According to the warrants, Husan touched the victim's bottom and hip area, the area under her breasts, grabbed her bottom and put his hands in her pants pocket and asked if she was wearing underwear. Husan has been a licensed doctor in North Carolina since May 27, 2000. He owns Greenway Family Practice offices in Morganton and Lenoir, and Greenway Health in Morganton and Marion, according to the practice's website. Husan initially declined to comment to the News Herald, but has denied the allegations in the warrants and that the victim was an employee of his for 3 days before she took out the warrants against him. He said he plans to fight the charges in court. He doesn't have any previous criminal convictions. According to the North Carolina Medical Board and Virginia Board of Medicine, each have taken action against him in the past. A consent order from 2016 filed on the North Carolina Medical Board website ordered Hussein to have a female chaperone who has read the consent order present at any time till he examines a female patient, and the chaperone must take note that she was present during the examination on the patient's medical record. The order came after a female patient filed a complaint with the board in August 2015. Well, if you received your first dose of the COVID vaccination at the Rutherford Health Department, then you received a vaccination record card. On the back of the card is the date for your second dose appointment. Your appointment time for your second dose is the same time as your first appointment. We know that the state is currently sending out notifications to let you know when you're eligible for your second dose. This is not your appointment date. This is simply letting you know when 21 days for Pfizer, 28 days for Moderna has passed. You can only get your second dose based on the appointment time given to you by the Rutherford Health Department because they only do second doses of certain vaccine on certain dates. If you come on a different date than what's on the back of your card, you will not be able to get your second dose at that time. You'll have to wait until the date on the back of your card. We recognize the state notifications are confusing a lot of people, and we hope this has helped clarify some confusion. Furthermore, you must get your second dose at the same location you got your first dose, because that is where the state is sending your allocation for the second dose. If you got your first dose out of county, you cannot get your second dose locally. And if that's confusing and you still have questions, call 223-5735.
Hello, this is John Higgins with Smith's Drugs of Forest City. We are very excited to begin offering a rapid COVID-19 test, along with the COVID-19 vaccinations when Phase 2 begins. To find out more about these opportunities here at Smith's Drugs, please check out our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and our Facebook page for updates when testing and vaccinations will begin. We plan to schedule appointments for testing and the vaccination through our website, which will have links from our Facebook page. If you have any questions, please call us at 828-245-4591. Thank you, and we look forward to serving you here at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt, at Insurance Service Associates about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
Well, the Valentine cards are coming in now for the big drawing, which starts on Monday with the daily prize drawings. And then the grand prize, of course, will be on Friday. If you have not gotten your card to us, please don't delay, because time slips away before you know it. Get it over to us. You can mail it, and we still should get it at Post Office Box 511, Rutherfordton. If you mail it too late next week, we will not get it in time to be in the drawing. So get yours to us. And be in the running for some great Be My Baby weekend Valentine presents. Many of you have been asking about concealed carry classes. You want to get that concealed carry permit? Well, Gabriel Abuli with the Bear Arms Firearms Training will be offering NC concealed carry classes, pistol purchasing consultation, and private and small group pistol marksmanship and safety training. The next available classes will be Wednesday, February the 10th, and Thursday, February the 11th. They're offering a free class to you if you organize to bring 10 people, including yourself. To sign up for these classes, contact Gabe at 283-0177. 283-0177. That class starts 10th and the 11th. Make sure that you, along with yourself, you bring 10 people with you, you get your class free. Get that concealed carry permit. Well, we need those. 22 past 8 o'clock. Deputy McLaughlin was with us from the Sheriff's Department this morning, gave us the report.
So in the last 24 hours, we've responded to 138 calls for service. 10 individuals are arrested, and the county jail currently houses 153 inmates. We'll start with their arrest reports. Autumn Gibson was charged with simple possession of Schedule 6 and possessed marijuana paraphernalia. Darrell Mays charged with failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Jeffrey Marshall, charged with assault on a female, communicating threats, and misdemeanor larceny. Nathan Wright, charged with felony larceny and failure to appear on a misdemeanor. Desmond Hardy, charged with possession of controlled substance in a jail or prison. And Blake Dotson was charged with assault and battery. And then we'll go over to the incident reports. Patterson Auto Sales reported felony larceny. Henrietta First Baptist Church reported misdemeanor larceny. Thomas Liebel reported misdemeanor larceny and larceny of a chosen action. Brianna Lane reported communicating threats. And Marion Lee reported identity theft. And that's all I got for you, sir.
The music's on us. WCAB.
NCN Sports. Good morning. I'm Tony Rixby. A good night for the Carolina Hurricanes in Chicago. Andrei Svechnikov scoring in regulation, then again in a shootout, and the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Chicago Blackhawks 4-3. Coach Rod Brindamore.
He's a special player. We know that. I mean, I can't say enough good things about him. So I feel like I've talked about him forever, and he's only been here a few years, but he's a game changer.
Hunter Tyson scored 16 points. Clyde Trapp had 14. Clemson beat North Carolina 63-50, snapping the Tar Heels' 3-game winning streak. Coach Roy Williams after the game.
So when we did get it, we didn't necessarily make it, but it wasn't just that they cut us off inside. Our whole offense, 10 turnovers in the first half, 2 offensive rebounds in the whole first half. So it wasn't just getting the ball inside. Our big guys were not as active as they needed them to be. If we were more active, we would have had more offensive rebounds in the first half, but that's about it.
Juwan Durham had 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Notre Dame used a big second-half run to beat Wake Forest 79-58. The Buccaneers held a light practice Tuesday as they get ready for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Here's Steve Carney in Tampa.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers held their first practice of Super Bowl week Tuesday, a walkthrough at their practice facility of between 40 to 50 plays, according to head coach Bruce Arians. Linebacker Levante David, who did not practice during the bye week, also said his injured hamstring was improved and hoped to be ready for Sunday's contest. The Bucs will hold another practice Wednesday as they prepare for the Kansas City Chiefs at Raymond James Stadium for Super Bowl 55. Steve Carney, Tampa.
Hendrick Motorsports signing gets first 2 sponsors for Kyle Larson. You're listening to NCN Sports.
If the power goes out for your business, are you prepared with a backup? Without electricity, security systems go down, refrigerated items spoil, and customers are turned away. In other words, your business loses money. Control your power. Control your business with a Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power is North Carolina's Generac generator experts. In fact, all Alternative Power does is provide backup power. Financing options are available. See more at alternativepower.com.
I'm Lynn Hanson, CEO of Crowder Constructors, headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have taken many precautions to keep our employees safe during the pandemic. We have a bot that sends a text to our employees every morning with a COVID survey. This survey requires employees to take their temperature and report if they have any COVID symptoms or have been around someone that may be positive. Getting our employees to stay home when they are or could be sick is our primary focus. Learn more on ways to protect your employees at nCUnitedAgainstTheVirus.org. Construction, we're built for safety.
North Carolina native and 2-time All-Star pitcher Chris Archer has agreed to rejoin the Tampa Bay Rays on a $6.5 million one-year contract. The 32-year-old was an All-Star with the Rays in 2015 and 2017, traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates back in 2018. Pitching coach Mickey Callaway has been suspended by the Los Angeles Angels after allegations of inappropriate behavior toward several women who work in sports media. The Angels announced their decision a day after the allegations against the former Mets manager appeared in a report in The Athletic. Angels spokesman Marie Garvey says the team will work closely with Major League Baseball to conduct a full investigation. The 5 women spoke with The Athletic on condition of anonymity and say it went back over a 5-year period. Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Today, we are going to see plenty of sunshine. It's going to be very bright out there, but it's also going to be a blustery one. We have strong winds moving in out of the northwest, and high temperatures will head into the upper 40s and lower 50s. But really, when you factor in the strong winds, it's going to feel like the upper 30s and lower 40s at times. By tonight, we'll fall into the mid-20s. Tomorrow, it will be milder with highs in the upper 40s and mid-50s. Strong winds will back off. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
It's 8:30. We're up to 30 degrees, and it's going to be another great getting up morning here in the foothills. And thank you for being tuned to 100.9 FM, 590 AM, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. It's time now for the Word of Faith radio program, and with the program this morning is Butch Maltby and Joe English. Good morning.
Good morning, Rutherford County. We are so excited to be with you today. I'm here with my dear friend and brother in the Lord, Joe English. You're going to be moved by his testimony of a God just changing a life. My name is Butch Maltby. We're both members of Word of Faith Fellowship, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 until 9 on WCAB, Joe, there have been these powerful testimonies of God changing a life. And Joe and I together have really carried for some time now, sharing about our lives have been changed from drug and alcohol addiction. And we're going to say very directly to you today, there's not a program, there's not a project, there's not a system, there's not a way that you can find eternal deliverance from all of the torment of addiction, Joe, unless you encounter the personal living God through his son, Jesus Christ. And so we're going to share today our journeys of how we fell into the sin of addiction, what God has been doing in our lives to change us. And at the very end, you're going to be touched, as I have been so regularly, by a song that Joe is going to sing, Your Love Never Fails. The love of God is what compels us to seek his will and his purposes. And we believe that if you open your hearts, if you're a tormented person, you can find that same help and hope and healing that Joe and I did. You know, we start with Scripture because God's Word is unshakable. Joe and I both are of the conviction that the opinions of man don't really matter, do they, Joe? No, they don't matter. But what matters is God's eternal Word. And so let's start out by going to God's Word and put a stake in the ground for something that we know to be true. If you have a Bible, open it to John 10, and it's verse 10. The thief comes only in order to steal and kill and destroy. I came, Jesus said, that they may have and enjoy life and have it in abundance to the full till it overflows. You know, in my life, Joe, one of the things that happened is I had some early childhood trauma. When I was 8 years old, my father sexually abused me. He was a violent man. I've told the story before in my testimony of once him coming out. He used to beat my mother, and I would try to get in between the two of them. But from the time I was little, I had a lot of adult responsibilities. And this one time I remember in particular, he used to put his fist through the wall in our sheetrock, homes that had sheetrock. And this one time in Virginia, he forgot it was plaster of Paris and put his fist into the wall, shattered all of his knuckles, broke his hand, went back to his room, went into the closet, got his 3 guns, put him in the car, put me in the car with him with my mother screaming, the other children there, and he screeched off. He had a stick shift, and he wasn't able to shift the car, and so he kept hitting me in the head saying, shift it now, shift it now. He drove about 40 miles to an area that was wooded, and for the whole day I sat there as a little boy and watched as he shot anything that moved, any animal, the squirrels, the birds. He had so much rage that was in him. And the combination of that sexual abuse and just the trauma of that early childhood put me in a place where I opened myself up to devils. And the demons that came into me were hyper-perfectionism, performance, everything that I did at that point in life. I said, you know what? I have to look out for myself. I have to accomplish things on my own. I have to do it in a way that takes care of me. And so I became a hyper-success-driven person. From the 4th grade on, I just kept achieving. And I was the class president every year. Our high school team was the national high school debate champions. And I had an appointment to the Air Force Academy, achievement-oriented, turned that down, went to a school called Wheaton College. We were the national debate champions. Everything in my life was trying to fill a hole that had gangrene in it. And it came initially from those traumas when I was younger. And, you know, after I got married for the first time, I went through a terrible divorce there, got remarried, and you know, Joe, about 21 years into a marriage with 4 children, what happened is that there were pains in my life that had never been dealt with. And Isaiah talks about us having wounds and the gangrene and the infection, you know, and God had never touched those areas because I refused to let him. And I grew up in a Baptist church, and I thought I was born again, but I wasn't, and ended up becoming a vice president for Pat Robertson. I was in the middle of all kinds of false religion. I was a workaholic that was doing things for God, but I didn't know Jesus. I had no knowledge of Jesus. And one of the principles at our church, Word of Faith Fellowship, that's so powerful is we can't give what we don't have. And I kept trying to give to people in ways where I didn't have anything to give to them. And so sadly, about 20 years into our marriage, it became clear our marriage was falling apart. We had 4 children, and I had news of something that was a tremendous breach of trust and loyalty in our marriage, and I didn't know what to do with the knowledge of that. And I was always on airplanes, 4.1 million miles on American Airlines to this day. I flew too many places in the work that I was doing, working for ministries mostly, ministries that people that are hearing right now would know. But you know what? There was a day, I still remember it, where I had a phone call and I had information that was given to me that was too painful for me to deal with. And I remember sitting up in first class, it was seat 1F, and I was on my way to Los Angeles, and it was a morning flight, Joe. And they came through and they said, "Would you like something to drink?" And I let the pain and the suffering that I didn't bring to Jesus open a door where I said, "Yeah, I'll take a drink." And I had a second, and I had a third. And that was the start. I'd been a casual drinker here and there. That was the start of my unholy alliance with the devil, who told me, who lied to me and said, "You can deaden the pain. You don't have to feel anything, but you could just go to that place where you don't really know about anything." And I became what they call a quiet alcoholic. In the midst of all of my pain, I kept reaching for a drink. I lied to myself and to other people by saying, "You know what? Yeah, I'm a sophisticated drinker. I'm a wine connoisseur. All of these being lies. And I distinctly remember one time where I was hosting a breakfast for 1,200 Christian leaders across America, many of the names that you would know. And at 4:30 in the morning, I was nursing a second bottle of wine in my room. And I had to be the MC for that event. And I remember crying out to Jesus saying, "Please don't let me be an offense to your name. Don't let me be an offense to your name, Jesus." And God in his providence and plan spared me for the 2 hours that I had to be the MC. But I knew that I was in a deep and dark place. And it reminds me of Mark chapter 5, where it tells the story of the Gerasene demoniac. And I won't go through the scriptures, but I want you to go and take a look at it. What it says in Mark chapter 5 is they, meaning Jesus and the disciples, came to the other side of the sea, to the region of the Gerasenes. When Jesus got out of the boat, immediately a man from the tombs with an unclean spirit met him. And the man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with chains, for he had often been bound with shackles for the feet and with chains, and he tore apart the chains and broke the shackles into pieces, and no one was strong enough to subdue and tame him. Night and day, he was constantly screaming and shrieking among the tombs and on the mountains and cutting himself with sharp stones. Seeing Jesus from a distance, he ran up and bowed down before in homage. And then Jesus ends up delivering him, and his life is radically changed. The thing, Joe, that always challenged me so much in the scripture is tormented by 1,200 devils. He had enough of his will to step towards Jesus. Yeah. He stepped towards Jesus. And I went to alcohol rehab places that were no help at all. I went to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings where I saw people that traded one addiction for another. They started smoking. They stopped drinking, but they started smoking. They stopped drinking, and they started to eat, and they blew up, as they say in North Carolina, like a toad. It was terrible. I watched all kinds of addictions being exchanged. Why? Because the core issue of your relationship with Jesus was not dealt with, and it wasn't dealt with in my life. And I had to go through some horrible experiences, including a near-death experience in July of 2012 that I've shared in my testimony that was powerfully impactful on my life. I was on a ventilator for a month. I almost died. They told me you'll have no high-function reasoning. I was up on a mountain in a cabin, drinking every day. I kept a couple of consulting clients. I lost everything in a terrible divorce. I was bitter. I was angry. I was talking to coyotes I was writing what I thought was godly poetry, sitting out there looking up at the stars. I was communing with demons, with devils. And God in his providence and plan let me come through that. They said, you'll never talk again in ways that people will understand. You'll have no high function reasoning. And I'm a living, breathing testimony to the power of the living God to take a life that was so self-absorbed, self-contained, self-defined, and at the foot of the cross, at this church, Word of Faith Fellowship, to find the help and hope and healing that I needed. Now, people have often asked me, what was it, Butch? Well, it started out with a pastor who knew of all my systems and my ability to speak my way through things, who was very clear one day when she said, come now or don't come. And she knew that my life needed the power of that door number 1 or door number 2. It says over in, I believe it's Deuteronomy, I've set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life so that you and your descendants will live. The first time I visited here, Mark Morris, who's also a dear friend, told me I could smell the smell of alcohol on your breath. You know why? I didn't want to come to a church again. I've been to churches on every inhabited continent in the world. And when Mike Cohen, a Jewish guy, a friend, said, let's go to this church, I remember thinking to myself, well, I'll go, but I need to take the edge off. And I actually had drinks before I came. That's how dark and deep in the hole, Joe, I was. But God, through his providence and plan, including the powerful ministry of praise and worship at our church that you've been such a vital part of, started to do his surgical work and go deep into me until he found that place where I said, I want deliverance. And so slowly but regularly, I got prayer, strong prayer. It wasn't just choices on my part. It wasn't any of you that say I had a bad childhood, that's why I take drugs. I had a bad childhood, I had a bad marriage, that's why I drink. That's an excuse. You need to get to the place where you understand that without the living God healing you and dealing with you with your sin, you will never find a place of peace and rest that he's promised us. And so you may be out there today asking the question, is there hope for me? There is. But you know what? You have to find Jesus worth the knowing. You have to be willing to get to the place where you say, Jesus, whatever will you have for my life, I'll embrace it. Whatever you want in my life, I will say yes to. If you have a buck, if you have a but, if you have an excuse, if you're a victim, you will not find that place of peace and power and rest that God has promised. So it's been 3 years that I've been here, Joe, and they haven't always been easy. God's dealings are hard. We all have to get to a place where we come to understand that he's got to take over every part of our life. And as I often tell the children, don't let any area of your life be one that you take for yourself. God said to me, I'm going to demolish everything, Butch, that was in your life and build something new. And when we submit to him and yield to him, what happens is that God can take a life that was dank and dark and terrible and change it forever. And so I am so profoundly grateful, and it is an honor to be here with you because you're a brother in the Lord that was there at the beginning, and you've helped walk me through this, Joe, and I'm so grateful. And in the spirit of that, share your story.
You know, listening to Butch, a lot of similar things in my life, and when I found out I was going to do this program, I started to think back to situations that in my life, you know, like Butch was talking about with his dad, with the anger and the rage. And when I was 12 or 13 years old, I had a traumatic thing happen to me. It was a physical thing. I had a tumor in my ankle, and they did a surgery, and I found out later when I was older that I could have lost my foot. And I had one surgery, then I had another surgery, just backing up. At that time, I was in Little League, and I was really good at what I did, and I really liked it. You know, my dad would take me to the field, and you know, I never could hit it over the fence, but I could hit the scoreboard in center field every time. I never got it over the foot. I could hit center field, and I was a good fielder. But anyways, then I had that happen to my ankle, and I had surgery, and then I had another surgery. I had to wear a brace on my leg, and it totally wiped me out. I couldn't do anything. And then, on top of that, as I got older, when I got into high school, I wore a brace on my leg, and the children made fun of me. They called me crippled. They laughed. And, I look back, they had a lot of problems themselves, But I couldn't do anything. And I'm seeing, as you were talking, what happens is, with me, when I was younger, I was building a fence around me. I didn't want to have anybody hurt me. I didn't want to have anybody say anything. So I started to put this invisible wall around. And during that time, I was really, people told me, you're really gifted in music. They used to take me, and my friends would have me stand on a chair, and, you people are my age, I'm 71, way back, they'd put the little 45 records on, and I would sing. I'd be on that chair, and they'd stand around me and clap, and I would sing, and I would sound this is a little guy. Right. I would sound just like, I could imitate just the person on the record, and then it went from that to, I took a test in grammar school. It's called the Seashore Test, and they told me that I had this really good musical ability. So my parents heard that, and they bought me a drum set. And in the world's eyes, I mean, I was good, even at a little guy. But I'm seeing this is good, when people get to share, and you hear what they say. When I told you I was putting a wall around me because I didn't want anybody to hurt me. I was tired of being wounded and hurt. Right. And now, when people tell you, when they go, you're a great guy. Oh, you're good at what you do. It makes you feel good. I didn't know God back there. I was raised in a Catholic home. My dad had really bad anger. He didn't like to work. And my grandfather's brother back way before I was born was a nightclub singer in the Prohibition days. And my grandfather, he worked on the railroad as a porter. I'm seeing all these things that were in my life that were carried right on to me. It's called a generational curse. But anyways, just having all these things, and then I had the music, and then it's like, it's something when somebody goes, you're a great guy. When on the inside, I'm not a great guy. But you like to hear that, and there's that wall. The wall is going up. You're not going to get in there. You're not going to touch me, and you're not going to hurt me ever again. So that was the beginning. Okay, and let me go back real quick. When I had that surgery, I was in the hospital for quite a bit of time. And they used to come and give me pain shots. It was very, very painful. Very painful what they did to my ankle. So they would come and give me a shot, and the pain would go away, and I'd feel so happy. But you know what? This went on, and it got to a point where I really, really liked the way it felt when they gave me that shot. I remember it like a tea. I'd be laying in that little guy. People, at night, it's not like somebody come and stay with you. I'm all by myself. This little guy in the hospital. They give me my shot. My dad would bring me the Times-Union paper. And I'd read the paper until the pain medicine worked, and I just go up and just go out. Then it came to the point where I didn't have any pain anymore, but I knew and understood what that feeling was. That feeling, it was an escape. It was that fence. It was a wall. I didn't want to be hurt. Not only that, I got this pain, but I started lying to the nurse. Can you give it to me? Oh, yeah. But I look back at that. That only went on for a little period of time. I look back at that. That was something It was a demonic attack at a young age. That came in me. Now, you might not understand that, but that system came in me at a young age. And then I went through teens and all that and experimented with all kinds of drugs and just messed up. Everybody I was around, nobody was honest with each other. Everything was like a big facade. Everything was a big joke. And well, let me tell you what, when you went back home and you were by yourself in the bed and the light went out,
right?
I was a tormented little guy. And then just going back again, because even when I talk, I remember things that I haven't thought about in years. There was a point in my life where I didn't do good in school. Now, the music thing, I did great. But in school, paying attention, they took my mom aside and said, we need to take him and put him in a special school and a special thing. Because I couldn't take hold of my head, my brain. I just, was getting distracted. I'd get mad. I'd have tantrums. I'd lay on the floor. And my parents didn't know what to do with me. And I just thank Jesus my mom did not go along with that, because I don't know what would have happened to me. But I want to make sure that I get everything in. And
what started to change, Joe?
Well, and as I got older, I got into supposedly contemporary Christian music. Was not born again, messed up on drugs, going out doing the same thing, and it just everything was a mess. And then in 1990, I came here. A friend of mine, Ray Nino, who's been on the shows quite a bit, he knew that I needed help and I needed deliverance. So I came down here to North Carolina. But my lifestyle didn't change. Everything stayed the same. I'd get on drugs, I'd get off her. I'd get on drugs, get off drugs. And one day, God spoke to me. He said, Joe, you're going to die if things don't change. You're going to lose everything. You're going to lose your wife, who now, we've been married 44 years. This is years back. And he said, you're going to, because people were trying to help me.
Right.
This church, they lay down their lives, Butch, day and night. Please, Joe.
Right.
Please, Joe, you got to change.
Right.
You got to change.
Right.
I would change, and then I'd go back to my old ways. Change and go back to my old ways. Friends who loved me, pastor who loved me, would do anything for me. Anything, anything.
Right. Lay down their lives.
But you know what? The other day I was thinking about this. It's your will. I did not want to change. And when you set your will to do what you want to do, knowing that it's destruction. But when God came to me that day, he said, it's over.
Right.
God laid in here's the choice, Joe. You can go do what you want, and here's what's going to happen. Or you can submit your heart, and I'll change you.
That's it.
And I'll change you. I know at that point, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I am not going to do drugs.
Right.
I am not going to go to doctor after doctor after doctor and lie and con and connive to get my pain medicine.
Right.
And I could do it because I had things wrong with me. I had it down. I could con most of the doctors. But it was over. When I made that decision, that's it. I don't even have, from that point until this day, the devil doesn't even come to me with a thought to, hey, why don't you go do that? Hey, your foot really hurts. I don't even have that.
Gone.
It's gone. Far as the east is from the west, some people don't understand that. Gone. I'm going to tell this real quick because I want to get this in. I had shoulder surgery a couple years back. And I remember being in the hospital. It's a painful surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called a reverse shoulder replacement. And I remember being in that room, and they come to me after the surgery. Do you need pain medicine? My shoulder was all numb from how they numb you up, and then all of a sudden, the numbness wore off, and that thing really started to hurt. And I laid there in that bed, and I said, Jesus, please help me. Mm-hmm. Then the next thought was, I called my pastor, Jane Whaley. I called her. I said, Jane, the whole thing is wearing off, and it's really hurting me. She prayed with me. I prayed. We got off the phone. She said, I'm going to keep praying. And you know what? That pain eased up.
Right.
I never took any pain medication. The nurse would come in and go, do you want something? And I said, I don't need anything. I'm not talking about I was making some big mental assent and I'm not going to... I didn't need it.
It's gone.
I didn't want it. I didn't want it. The nurse, I don't know how many times she came in. She'd come in and come in and come in. And she finally said, you don't need it, do you? I said, no, I don't need any pain medication. Now, you have to understand, that's a miracle. That's a miracle. When you have a reason, you could have it. I didn't want it. Right. Now, for all the reasons God shows me a little bit, I didn't want to open any doors, but I didn't need it. I needed Jesus.
Right.
Jesus showed up in that hospital room, and he eased my pain.
That's right.
No man can tell me, well, Joe, maybe you're just making that up in your mind or this or that. People have a lot of excuses. No. When you cry out to God, he answers you.
That's right.
Back when I made that decision, it was over. I said, it's over. Not only that drug addiction, Butch, it's very selfish. It put my wife through hell.
Right.
It puts people through hell when they watch your life being destroyed and they want to help you and you won't let them help.
That's right.
You want to be your selfish own,
that's right,
demon-possessed
that's right,
person.
That's right.
Very selfish. So I get kind of excited on the inside when I talk about this because I can see the delivering power of God.
Well, you know what, Joe?
He can do it.
He can do it if you take hold of your will and you cry out to Jesus. In the spirit of that, we have a song that we're going to end with today.
Yeah.
Your love never fails. And if you're somebody that's dealing with addictions, there is hope, there's help, and there's healing. It's not a program. Joe is going to sing now, Your Love Never Fails. And as he goes, I want to remind you, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 until 9 a.m. here on WCAB, you'll hear powerful testimonies like Joe has shared here today. Tune in and listen to that.
Your love never fails. It has covered a multitude of sin. Truly we have seen your mercies and your power to restore. Repairer of the breach, the restorer of my soul. No man can ever know such great love except through Jesus, as we have surrendered our lives. We have truly seen the love of God. Oh, what joy it brings to be dealt with as your true son. In your judgment we have found refuge and safety. We have loved your hand upon our life. Repairer of the the restorer of my soul. No man can
can ever know such great love except through Jesus, as we have surrendered our lives. We have truly seen the love of God, as we have surrendered our lives. We have truly seen the love of God.
WCAB.
Otherwise, neuropsychologists whose assessments help determine